In this video, we want to change the subject of the formula, which means that we want to isolate the required subject. So in this case, x must be alone, right? So what do we have? 3x minus 4 is equal to y. The intention is that we're going to get rid of the negative 4, then we get rid of the 3. But we're going to do it in stages. The inverse operation of a minus 4 is that we're going to have to add 4. To balance the equation, we'd have to add it to the other side. So let's rewrite what we have. So now we have 3x. Remember that this becomes a 0. And this is equal to y plus 4. Remember, we want x to be isolated. 3 is being multiplied to x. The inverse operation of multiplication is to divide. So we're going to divide the left side by 3. And then we balance the equation by dividing the right side by 3. Our final thing is that x all alone is equal to y plus 4 all over 3. Right? So that is example 1. So in this case, we have a plus 1 all over 5 is equal to m minus 2 for a. This means that a must be isolated. Because I'm seeing a fraction here and a is directly affected by the fraction, I'm going to get rid of the 5. So I'm going to multiply, because the inverse of division is to multiply. So I'm multiplying 5 to the left side here, which means that I must multiply 5 to the right side as well. We did it because 5 into itself is 1, so it is able to cancel here. So what I have on my left side is a plus 1. And this is equal to, I'm going to distribute this. So I'm going to have 5m minus 10. So here I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. So as you could see, we're left with a here because this becomes a 0. And this is equal to 5m, and negative 10 with a negative 1 will give negative 11. So a is equal to 5m minus 11. Let us take a look at the third example. Now in this example, I have the square root of e minus 13, and this is equal to f. The intention here is that I want to make e the subject of the formula. How do I do that? I'm going to have to get rid of everything so that e is isolated. Because e minus 13 is directly affected by the square root, I will have to start this problem by removing the square root. The inverse of a square root is a square, so I'm going to square this, which means I'm going to square the other side. It's just a single thing, f, so I just square it. So remember, a square and a square root, they cancel each other out. So we're left with e minus 13, which is equal to f squared. The intention is to isolate the e, but we have a minus 13. Let's go opposite to that. The inverse of that is going to be that we're going to add 13. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do it to the other side. Now on my left side, a negative 13 plus 13 becomes 0. So e is equal to f squared plus 13, and that's our final answer right there. Let us take a trip to our last problem. The last problem that we have here says x is equal to y plus 2 all over y minus 6, and we want to make y the subject of the formula. Most times whenever you have your the subject of the formula that you need, if you're seeing it 2 times, most times you will employ factorization at some point. But let us see how this one turns out. Firstly, I want to get rid of my fraction. So I'm going to have to multiply everything by y minus 6. So I'm going to have x times y minus 6. And this is equal to y plus 2 all over y minus 6. And I will multiply this by y minus 6. We did it because we want to get rid of the fraction. So on right side, I can cancel y minus 6. Let's rewrite what we have. At the same time, I'm going to distribute this x inside so that I expose the y. So we have x times y is going to be xy, and this is going to equal to minus 6x. This is all equal to y plus 2. Now the intention is to make y the subject. So I have to collect my y's on one side, and I prefer at this time to collect the y's on the left side. So it simply means that I will have to get rid of this though. This, I can't keep this here. I need this on the other side. So let us just deal with that. So I'm gonna subtract y from both sides. So when I do that, I'm gonna have yx minus 6x, and I'm gonna add 6x because I don't want it here. This y is gone, so we have a 2, then I'm gonna have plus 6x here. So I'm just carrying out this idea because this has to go as well. So what I really have though, here, as you could see, what I really have is that I have x, y, minus y, and this is equal to 2 plus 6x. Right? So it's equal to 2 plus 6x. But so let us now take a look at this. I need y to be alone. The best thing I could do here is to factorize out my y. So I'm going to factorize y. So if I take out y into xy, I'm left with x, and y into minus y, I'm left with minus 1. And this is equal to 2 plus 6x. Now, at this time, I can now isolate my y by dividing everything by x minus 1. X minus 1. So this would have cancelled here. So finally, y is equal to 2 plus 6x all over x minus 1. There it is.